I just recorded so that even if you missed this, you can always listen to it later. But I think most people can hear me. So I'm sorry, man, be the network. But let's just go on. So as I was saying, the agencies we've been really pushing here to get one or two agencies to see how they can support with a certificate of sponsorship. Because it's new, most people are still afraid, and a lot of people are not willing to take that risk. The care homes are even worse. Most care homes are still very reluctant, and so it's I know it's going to be a challenge for now, but what I foresee happening is hopefully by February, March, you start getting more options. That's what I really hope to happen and foresee. So the one we spoke with last 2 weeks, they were very, and what we proposed, or what's our proposal was for them to offer certificate of sponsorship, one, and to provide a relocation package. So that should include your visa fee, flight fee, and a month's rent. They were very reluctant to do it for several reasons. One of them was, what's the guarantee that when you come in, you would stay for 1 year? Because usually how they make their own profit is when you come into the UK with an agency or hospital, you should stay with them for 2 or 3 years before you move away to another place. Some might come in and want to leave after 6 months, and so the agency that brought you or the hospital that brought you will be on the losing side. So that's one. Two, this is a new thing. Nobody has done it. Nobody has made nobody has done this before. And so it's so that fear, people are really scared. So they referred us to another agency. We had a conversation last week Friday. So they were going to get back to us, and it's still the same problem. I can share the email if you want. They were still a bit reluctant to provide all the visa fee and all. And so I've put in a new proposal. Can they just offer COS? If they can just offer just a COS, please, can you yourself? Okay. And so if so what we're looking at right now is, say, they offer just the certificate of sponsorship, and so each person will have to find their own way with your visa fee and your flight and every other thing. I sent that out yesterday. I'm yet to get the feedback, but once we get the feedback, I will let you guys know. But it's really not been easy. Just trying to call it's really not been easy. But I strongly believe we will have a breakthrough. I really believe that. I'm really convinced about it. I know someone from this group. We're going to break that market. I'm going to be the first of the people to do this. I'm just convinced about it. We'll keep trying. And that also goes to your applications. When you apply, you get no. You get plenty no's. But don't worry. I think I've maybe had more than 50 to 100 no's. Like, we regret to tell you your application is not successful. I think I've had it 50 or maybe 100 times. I don't know. This week alone, I got 5 because I was applying for a new job. I got like 4 or 5 this week alone, just Monday to Friday. So you never give up. Never ever give up. You keep pushing and keep grinding, keep applying. It's a very competitive market. The UK is very competitive. Everybody wants to come here. So keep pushing and keep fighting and keep applying, and you get a breakthrough. So that aside, I just felt quickly, let me just run through a brief interview question just to prepare us, because I know very soon we'll start getting some invitation. I have a colleague of mine who just had an interview 3 days ago. So I was able to get the questions they asked. So I was hoping I would just share with you guys and just talk about it briefly. We'll still have more sections on this, but just give me a minute, let me pull it up. Okay. Can you see my slide?
A bit so. Yeah. You know that I
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
So So I like this to be interactive. I'm just going to ask, and I will just call you randomly. If I do, please. I'm just apologizing in advance. So they could ask you, things they could ask you is, why do you want to be a healthcare assistant? What would be your response? Chinelo. Is she there or she's not there? You know, these things, when they call your name, you just disappear. Chinelo has disappeared. Okay, let's go to the next person. Akorede, are you there? Akorede.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, did you want to attempt, they ask you the question, why do you want to be a healthcare assistant? How are you going to respond to that?
Because taking care of people has actually been like my passion, and seeing people happy actually makes me happy. So if making them happy and seeing people live their life to their ultimate goal makes them happy, then why am I stopping to actually help them attain their goals?
Okay, I think that's a fair attempt. So, you know, this is, you're selling yourself, yeah? In an interview, it's about, they're checking so many things. They're checking your confidence. Yeah? There's going to be a Zoom video meeting. So they're looking at your confidence. They're looking at, you know, your posture, your composure. You know, they're also assessing your communication skill at the same time. You see, so they want to see how you're able to, you know, communicate. You know, are you tense? Do you stutter? Do you talk so fast? Can they understand you? Because if they can't, then there's no point, because of course, even the patients will not understand you, because the patients might be old and have dementia, and, you know. So when I ask things like this, it's just, why do you want to be a healthcare assistant? You just, like you said, usually it was about care, yeah? So just talk about it, just to show care, to show compassion. You can even give a personal experience. You took care of, like, for example, when I was this, I had my grandmother was this, had this. And I took care of her, I was there for her, that kind of thing. So it's just a chance to sell yourself. Okay, so basically that's what they're asking. Why do you want to do it? So you should have, for example, for that particular job, read what the job description is. Okay, because they can vary a little bit, but generally it's about care. Some places they want to work in clinics where they check blood pressure, and also if it's about cardiology, about the heart, try and read a bit about. So just have an idea of what that particular job is. And so when they ask this kind of question, you can tailor it to what they're really looking for. So, but generally, it's always talking about care, to show compassion, you know, so to be there for people. That seeing other people smile also makes you smile, even if it's not true. Just to say it that way, things like that. And if it's try and smile, try and show some confidence when you're talking. Okay. So look at another question that could ask you is 3 positive and negative things about yourself. Who do we catch here? Has Chinelo come back from her journey, or she's still not back? Okay. Let's go to Esther. Esther, are you there? Okay, Esther is not there. Let's go to Williams. Is she there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so let's assume I'm the employer or the interviewer, and I'm asking you, tell me 3 positive things about yourself. What are you going to say?
Okay, one, I'm a people's person.
Okay, that's very good.
And I like to take people's and it's called, okay, the negative comes in the essence, in the when maybe I don't know when to say no. When I'm
Sorry,
supposed to say
I think we can hear you very well.
no. That could be where I get it from, but I just like these people.
Hello, Esther. Hello. Sorry, this like your network is not so. Your network is very poor. I can't hear you.
Secondly,
Sorry, I have to mute you, Esther. We can't hear you.
I don't like seeing people sad around me. So I love to share and care as much as I can. I think that will be all. I mentioned to. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes. You're breaking a little bit, but I think we got some more you're saying. One, you're a people's person, so you like to show care. Okay. That's a good point. So this is where you sell yourself always, yeah? You look at what they're looking for. So are you a skilled communicator? Positive things about you. You like to share your experience, and you're a friendly person. You show some empathy. You're a skilled communicator. You like to get tasks done and accomplished. Those things like that. Just always remember the job description. And healthcare is about healthcare, about care, communication, getting the tasks achieved. You don't like seeing people hurt. You can even give examples, just to sell yourself. And to say the negative things about yourself, that can be a bit tricky. I don't even know what my negative things are. But let's see if anybody is willing to give it a go. Williams, Tobere, you want to give it a go? What are the negative things about yourself? What would you say?
Why didn't you just go with the positive things? Why do you need negative things? That's a very tricky question. Highly tricky.
Dude.
Negative things about me should. I get really nervous when I'm not being communicated well. Like I am communicating with you and you are not understanding me. Yeah, I get jittery and I feel really nervous. So it's more like I'm a very good communicator. Like, yeah, I'm a people's person whereby I always ensure that while I'm communicating with someone, I should always get a positive response. But once the person is not understanding me, then I get nervous. So I feel that's just like I'm like more of like an impatient person when I'm not being understood. So
be careful. Don't say things that would make you lose the job.
No, that's the negative side about me, but I'm definitely not going to put something like that out there. If they should ask me a question like that, I would be like, well, I don't really know. I can actually
you can just say no. You can say something, no, because it just shows your vulnerability. Yeah, you can see you're learning towards it, because nobody's perfect. So if you say you don't have any negative side, you say this one is a dangerous person.
But I can actually tell them I get nervous when I'm not being understood.
Yes, and you're working towards it. You're trying to get better at it.
Yeah, that's
something
just a
like
simple answer.
Simple. But you can say you're nervous when you're in a new place, when you travel to a new place. And so it takes a while to adjust. You see, so and that happens to almost everybody.
Because I feel the less you talk, the more you put yourself inside deep shit.
Yeah, somehow. But you see, you can say one. You must not necessarily say three. You can just say, when I travel to a new place or a new environment, I struggle to adjust very quickly, but I'm working towards it. Something like that,
Yeah.
That's just something like that. But don't say you're a fighter or you're a criminal or something.
Oh, fighter, okay, what's happening?
You will never get the job.
I tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, no worries. Let's jump to the next question. It said, if a patient was upset, what would you do? So who's here? I know some people will run away, but somehow I'll find you. Mr. Mba Nelson. Yes. How can you you want to attempt it?
Okay. The third question.
Yes.
Okay. Here, I think what I would say is, like the third question says, if a patient was upset, what would I do? Okay, I'll first of all try to get close to the patient. I find out why the patient is upset. And then I select for the possible ways to maybe if it was about a procedure that is being carried on that patient and that patient did not get maybe the inside of it. If I really understand the inside of that procedure, I will try to express it or explain it to that patient so that maybe it will calm down the nerves of that patient.
Remember, just sorry to cut you. Remember, you're a healthcare assistant. So it means the procedure, the assumption is you will not know the details of the procedure. So the patient is upset.
Okay.
The question is, why is the patient upset? Is it because the food is bad, or the bed is not well laid, or just he could not sleep because of the noise, or because the next patient beside him is snoring and so he's just upset, or the food was not served, it was cold and not hot. Some people, they have dementia, they have mental problems here, you see. So you need to figure out why. So I don't think you should be discussing to us the medical problems, because that will not be your job description. Yours is more of care, So I think you should think or talk to us that direction more. Don't talk about healthcare.
Okay. Okay, that's true. Sorry, I'm talking because I work directly with the patient here.
So that's why I'm saying don't do that. I know.
Sorry.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I have understood you.
You got the point. Sure. So you talk like you don't even know anything, even if you know more, but just act as though at that capacity is healthcare assistant. That's the capacity you wanted to function in. Yeah. So whether you're a doctor or a nurse or whatever you are, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. At that point, what they want you to function as is as a healthcare assistant. So usually, if the patients are upset, if it's about a medical problem, they will call a doctor. See? Yes. So if they call you as healthcare, it's usually because of the service you have provided. So you need to figure out what the problem is. Is it that the food is bad? Is it that the bed is not well laid? Things like that. That's where your role is as a healthcare assistant. Or even if sometimes it might be even if it's a medical problem, you can say, okay, let me call the doctor to attend to you. Because it's not your place to start digging about those medical problems.
Okay.
Or let me call the nurse. Can I call the nurse? Please, can I call the nurse to just come and attend to you? That kind of a thing. You see? And then you walk away, that kind of thing. Or you go ahead, something like that. Especially if they tell you, I don't like the procedure, and the patients, they know, they're very enlightened, yeah, very educated. They know the doctor, they know the nurse, most times they know. So they know which complaint to tell to who. So if it's a medical problem, they will almost never tell the healthcare assistant. They want to tell the nurse or doctor. But sometimes, unless if you're very close to a particular patient, you might want to share some things with you. You see, but just bear in mind that your role is a healthcare assistant, so you don't step off the line. Okay. That's something that applies to the family member. If the family member was upset, right? Well, it's almost 8:30. Let me pick one more person. Who will I pick now? Abiola Moshood. Abiola. Number 4.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The number 4 question. If a family member was upset, what did you do? First of all, I'll be very patient and I will want to know the reason behind being upset. And then find a way to solve his or her problem. That's just it.
Basically, that's it. So I think the key thing is listen to them. So when they're upset, don't try to talk back at them. Don't try to shout at them. You listen. What's the problem? Just try and get what the idea is instant. If something you can handle, if it's your own fault, you can say, I'm very sorry that you're going through this. If it's something that needs the doctor notice, you can say, okay, I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm really sorry. Do you want me to call the doctor? Let's come and attend to you. That kind of thing. And you go and call the doctor, you call the nurse, and you attend to that. But they want to see that you should have empathy. They want to see that you're showing care. They want to see that you're saying sorry. You're not combative. You're not assertive. You're not trying to force your way in on them. Listen to them. Then that would be one of the key things I would say. Both the patient and the family member, listen to them, hear their complaints out. If something you can address, you address. If something you can't address, okay, can I call this person to come and address this problem? You see that kind of a thing. So don't go beyond your capacity. The number 5 is, what is patient-centered care? I don't know if anybody can attempt this. I like to finish before 9 o'clock. TechnoSpark. Is that your name or just the phone's name or something? TechnoSpark. Are you there? TechnoSpark.
It was the one that said there's no sound. It's not hearing any sound.
Okay. So the spark is not working. All right.
Yes, but no, okay.
Okay. Let's go to Okonkwo Onochie. Okonkwo Onochie.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, okay. Okonkwo
Hello,
Onochie.
can you hear me?
Yeah, who's speaking?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Huh?
Who's this?
It's breaking. You know, when it comes to patient-centered care, in my own understanding, I believe, or it's all about you focusing more on the patient, taking care of their needs and understanding their needs and knowing how best you can attend to them to make them happy, to make them more relaxed. And that's just it for me. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Imagine this is a live interview. So don't ask them if I'm making sense. But yes, you are. So yes, just basically, that's what you just said. It's about the patient. That's the priority, patient safety. Make sure they're well taken care of. Make sure they are the priority, not you, not anybody else, but the patient. So getting is make sure they're safe. Make sure they feel comfortable. That's what it is about. Number 6 might be a bit tricky. Let's see if anybody can, I will leave it open. If anybody can attempt this, 2 or 3 types of communication that are used between staff on the ward. Can anybody give it a go?
Verbal and non-verbal communication.
No,
well,
I think.
Okay. We've had one, verbal and non-verbal, yes. Who has more?
Is it not where respect comes in?
Respect, okay. Keep coming on. We're hearing more things. Ooh, anybody else with any kind of some people have not said anything in this meeting on. Some people have not said anything at all. Who has not said anything at all in this meeting? Okpako. Is it Okpako? I hope I got it correctly. Okpako.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, no wahala. Even me, I didn't know that to read it up, so don't worry. So the thing is, so I was able to I looked at this, nursing. Can you see my screen, yeah? You can also see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to nursinganswers.net and I saw something that I think this makes a bit of sense. So there are about 4 types: passive communication, aggressive communication, like in Lagos, assertive communication, and direct communication. So there are areas where you have to use either of them. So the passive ones are not, passive ones is anything to tell you, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. You don't have a mind of your own. You can't see how you feel. You make poor eye contact. And during the interviews, I think is a check. Are you looking at the camera and looking at your interviewer? You're looking at the ceiling, looking at on the floor, looking at left and right. So it doesn't show confidence. You need to see that you have a lot of confidence. So look at them straight in the eye, eyeball to eyeball. So when you're communicating, maintain that eye contact with either your patient or your fellow staff, wherever. Understand? Because usually, I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy. When you come here, in the first 3 months, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna feel a bit off. Sometimes even in English, you don't hear what they say. Sometimes just and you're like, "What are you saying?" You don't understand what they're saying. It took me a while to understand the things they say here sometimes. So it's going to take a while for you to understand. When you don't understand, so sometimes they speak so fast. I was like, "Excuse me, I can't understand what you're saying. Can you be a bit slow?" And they're slow, but you do it confidently. But if you go and smile, even if you didn't hear anything what they're saying and you're smiling and you're just walking away, not sure of what to go and do next, you will be lost. Understand? So you need to be able to say, "Excuse me, I can't hear what you're saying. Can you be a bit slow so I can understand what you're saying?" But do it with respect and be a bit assertive. So don't do yes sir, yes ma'am, and all that kind of thing. Okay. That's the passive communication. That's not really, people don't want you to be this way. And the aggressive communication, if you have lived in Lagos for a while, this is probably natural for you. But here, you can't be aggressive here, understand? But that's one of the things, aggressive communication. So that's when you're very assertive. You're very not assertive, but you're commanding. Like you feel you're right, every person is wrong. You see, only your idea is that every person is a fool, or something like that. Very rarely will you use this. Maybe in emergencies. So if you read here, it tells you this. Sometimes in healthcare center, an aggressive communicator can be useful, mainly in risky situations, in emergencies, or when people are in shock. So there's a fire emergency, for instance. You can say, everybody get out of this building right now. That's a command. That's aggressive, you see, because of the emergency. But it's not something you want to do on a day-to-day basis. The best one is the assertive one. So you're calm, you're calculated, yet you're emphasizing your points. You believe what you're saying is the correct thing, and you just say it in a very respectful way. This is what they want, and direct one. So you can just read up this side. I can maybe copy it and share it on the group. So just go read it up again, okay? In case I ask you during the interviews. So as I get more information and more interview questions, I'll share. This was just from 3-4 days ago, and she got the job. So I'm going to keep getting more questions, and we'll keep sharing them from time to time. We have 30 minutes spent. We have about 30 minutes left. So this second section is good, or the third session really is going to be about you guys. What areas are you struggling with? Let's share together. Is there any particular area where you think you need help? If you don't want to say it here, it's fine. But usually, if you say it here, it's better because we can all bring ideas together. I may not necessarily know everything, and somebody might share their own experience and that worked for them. So does anybody have anything they want to share? Any particular thing they're worried about they want help with? And the floor is yours. Just unmute yourself and you have the floor.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Frank.
Good evening, Techno.
Okay. Please, I have a concern concerning this CV of a thing, Somebody like me that had up to 15 years of experience. I'm just finding it difficult to put all because I started from when I started the job, say like 2006, and I've worked in so many places. And, putting it together makes my CV so lengthy. I don't know if is it compulsory that I should put all, or should I take it from somewhere? And then each time I want to apply, they will say, upload CV, do this, do that. And when I try to do that, I find out that the whole thing will, go up and I will start afresh. And that has delayed my
okay. Just to ask everybody, are you usually asked to submit your CV when you're applying for a job? Does that apply to everybody?
No.
Not often.
Hello, can I talk?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, if you're applying to NHS, you won't be asked to upload a CV, but if it is all this private home carer, you can be asked to upload your CV.
Yeah. Sorry, can I talk?
Okay.
Yeah, good evening. So yes, they don't actually ask for CV if you're applying from NHS, but once you are logged onto that tracked stuff, it brings a notification for you, like you can actually use this to upgrade your CV or something like that. Yeah,
that's fine. So let me just address Techno's point very quickly. So Techno, you see, like you, I have like 10-15 years experience already. You see that? But let me show you something. Like when it comes to my job, for instance, usually when you write you just give personal summary, or else you want me to share my own CV and you use mine and draft something like draft yours too. You say, so what I did was in the employment, I put the first 5 employment or 6 employment, and the rest I didn't put a lot of information. So what I mean here, I just mention it on the date. So if they want more information, I can give it to them, because it's to my CV will be too long. I begin to write everything I'm doing. This is what I mean. other positions held. So I just had to just mention this way. You see that? If not, it will just be too long. And people don't like long. Nobody has time to read those long business. Yet mine is still very long, even with all the things I've written. As in how I've tried to shorten things. You see, it's still long. So what you can do is, if you can share your CV, share what you have with me. Let me see how I can prune it down a bit. Or if you prefer, I share mine and you just use mine as a template to develop yours. If anyone that works for you.
Man, this your CV is like choked up. Jesus Christ.
It's 10 years of hustle.
No, definitely. We would always get assistance in our CV, please, because I think that's going to be for like another section. I don't know how I'm going to get assistance, but when that time comes, but really, I actually need to adjust my CV. You're seeing yours alone, and I don't know how to arrange my own. Mine is just has to do what I do.
No. You don't, if you don't have enough experience, you don't have it, you understand? But that comes with time. That you build this over time. Over time, you build and build and build and build. You see? Yeah. So, and they know that if what's the HCA job does not require you to do a lot of things. That's the beauty.
But I think we need to be able to defend our CV. That's just the thing.
Yes.
Everything you have there on your CV, you can actually defend it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they need very simple things. They don't need complicated things. So I'm saying, don't make it too complicated. Put a few lines. Okay. I achieved this. I did this. If you say you worked in the bank, you can say in the time you brought 1,000 customers or something like that. Like a result. Okay. So it should be a result-oriented CV. Don't start writing. I counted 2 billion. I counted 5 billion. All these irrelevant things. But what did you do as a person? What did you achieve there? And does it tally with what they're looking for? Communication, care. You don't need all those big things.
Is it possible to send? I don't know if I can actually send my present CV to you. I don't know then. If it's any little, you could just stick the little adjustment I just need to add there or something else. Because right now, and I actually made inquiries in like just sticking to one hospital. Like they said that it's not we need like 300 hours work time in the hospitals and attach ourselves. So I think I should be starting like first week of next month and all that. So for now, I think I would have little to say about that aspect with my skills in terms of.
Okay, so what we can do, we can have another section on CV because it will be difficult to start doing for everybody. We can just get one person's CV, just one person, put on the screen and just dissect it down. So you now tailor it to your own experience. CV is usually best written by you because it's your experience. It's best written by you. It's very difficult for someone to write your own CV. It's very, very difficult.
I know. So please, at least when that time comes, let us just know.
Yeah, I think maybe next week, if you think it's that important, next week when we'll meet again, anytime early next week, we can just do a CV, just look at it and how to upgrade our CVs, and that's it. And maybe just with 2 pages, and that's all you need. You don't need those long things I have here. 2 pages, 3 pages, and you're good.
No problem.
Okay. Techno, I don't know if I helped, but if I didn't, if you still want to share yours with me, I can look at it, or I can share mine with you if you want. Or we wait and we'll do it together on next week. Anyone that works for you is fine. Okay. So does anybody have something else? Is there anything else? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But that means we'll have to have a meeting or something where we can talk about it, because I won't be able to do it. Oh man, it's calling me right now. Does anybody have anything else?
Yes, I have something. There is one kind of tricky question that they will ask at one point. See, at the level of the CV, they say you should try to express something that makes you outstanding from your peers. I don't know. That's a kind of more tricky question. How?
That's very easy. What makes you outstanding? So that's when you sell yourself. So you talk about, is it on the CV itself or doing the supporting document? I think it's a supporting document in the application.
Yes, supporting documents. Yeah. Sorry.
That's why you sell yourself. That's why you talk about your experience as with everything you're doing, and it's fair where you are. So, okay. I don't know. I like using the banks. And where do you work? What's your background like? Anybody? Just let's talk about it together.
Okay, my background.
This Nelson, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So I know you work in the lab now in Cameroon now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So so you can talk about communication. So if you want to bring about care, you can just talk about I'm thinking on my feet, so forgive me if I'm a bit slow.
Okay.
Well,
Can you
you can talk about
Can you talk about maybe, let me say, leadership skill, like
yes,
for
you can.
example,
You can.
yes, because maybe your job has maybe shown something to the administration of the facility, and maybe you appointed a leader to lead the unit and kind of thing.
Yes, you can. You very much can.
Okay.
You understand? So you can talk about things like the leadership skills. For you in the lab, you can talk about you leading your team, for instance, and the team of 5. Don't just say leading a team. I say a team of 10 lab scientists. And in that time, you've achieved this. That's result oriented. You've also done some communication skill where you instead of getting the feedback or I don't know how you want to put it, discussing with the doctors or not talking about the particular patients, or if you get a request that you're not sure of it, you call the doctor just to show some empathy to understand why you're repeating the test. Just you find a way to just find things like that. But it should always be tailored towards communication, care, leadership, and writing report. These are things I'm looking for. Writing report, literacy skills. These are all the things I'm actually looking for. And anything outstanding, if you outside work, do you have anything you do outside work? Like, do you go to the volunteer in any place? Do you go to help the sick? Do you go to the prisons or in church? Do you see the children's school, or do you go to prisons or whatever it is? And what you do there? So all these
Yes,
things,
IPC, vaccination campaign, things like that.
Vaccination
Just
campaign.
volunteering.
You go to the villages, you see women that are sick or wherever, or children, just things like that. These are things you should talk. These are what you should put at the front or the first thing. So. Because it just shows you have empathy, you have care. That's what it shows. So anything in a supporting document is what you've not written already. These are what you've not already written. So you're adding an extra information. They're giving you a chance. Tell me why I should hire you. That's what they're asking you. Why you unique?
Okay.
So that's when you talk about anything. Yeah, anything else you're doing that's outside your work. That's when you want to talk about it, actually. Okay. Is there something else? Is anything else bothering anybody?
Yes, please. Oh, this vaccination of a thing. You said this COVID-19.
Yeah, hello, Doc.
Is it the first dose? Hello?
Sorry,
hello?
Techno is on. Techno has the floor now. Yes, go ahead. Techno Spark. Is that your name,
yes,
Techno Spark?
No, I'm Choma. I don't know why my phone is showing that.
Okay.
I'm Choma.
All right,
so
Choma.
please, yes, this vaccination, you talked about it before April. I didn't get, is it to get the first dose or to complete the dose before April? Because
the thing is, okay. The thing is, in the UK, right now, they're saying by April 21st, 2022, if you're not vaccinated, you lose your job. And so there's a talk about 70,000 staff of NHS losing their job because they refuse to get vaccinated. That might not happen because it means the pressure will be too much for those that are working. They might extend the date. So if you have not been vaccinated at all, go get the first one. I think it takes about 3 months before you can get the second one. But let it be seen that you've gotten the first dose. You understand? If you've had the first one, try and make sure you get the second one when they ask you to go get the second one. Just get vaccinated so that simple things like this will not cause any delay. Moreover, it keeps you safe. You understand? It keeps you safe. Right now, it's difficult to work here without getting vaccinated. But since you're looking for a job, so if you don't get vaccinated, it makes your chances very slim.
Please, I have a concern towards that vaccination. If you take Johnson & Johnson, do you need to go back for the second dose? Because that's the one I took.
I think it's 2 doses for every one of them. Is it Johnson & Johnson only one?
Yes, it's only 1 dose. You don't have to go back for the...
Then go for the booster dose. Go for the booster. So the booster can be your second dose.
Okay.
That's one thing you can do. Go for your booster dose.
Okay.
So that can serve as a second dose in case anybody doesn't know that. Like I didn't know this.
Okay.
But is there any way they can track people that didn't get it?
Sorry?
Yeah, hello.
Is there any way they can track?
Yeah, can you hear me?
That they don't have it.
They can't track, but the thing is, you need to show evidence that you've gotten it. Then evidence will include a batch number. And now things are getting so universal that they can, like my first dose was not in Nigeria or the UK. My first dose was in Swaziland. That's why I got my first dose. But they can still track, whereas with a batch number, these things can still be tracked. So if you go and forge it or do anything, they don't have a correct batch number. So is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's not.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Doc, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in the last meeting, you said that you updated on your progress with the care homes, the meetings you had with them and all that.
You came late. I did that already.
Are you serious?
Once I say 8 is 8. We don't joke with time, eh? I don't joke with time, really. But say 8 is 8.
Okay.
You have to watch this video from the beginning to get that information. So next time you come in at 8. Not Nigerian's time. No, 8 Nigerian's time. 8 is 9:30.
Okay.
But I said it. Those are the 5 guys that started this meeting with me. I gave them an update. So watch this video again to get the update. I won't say it again. So I would encourage you to come early next time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other question?
Hello.
Yes, almost say.
My question is that when you apply for a job, for how long will you wait to get a reply from the employer?
No, that question is a very tricky question because it depends a lot on them and how soon they want people to come in and how many applications they have. So they have to sift through all those applications. Sometimes it's computerized. They just use the essential criteria, and the ones that are not, they don't meet up that criteria, they sift them out. So it takes a while to get all that processed. So you can't tell. Sometimes they need you immediately. Like, okay, I apply for a job. 27th December. By 3rd January, I already had an interview date. Some job I applied for in 2021, 2020. So now I'm not got an interview date. Or they don't even come back to me and said how far. As in sometimes they'll tell you successful or unsuccessful. Since 2020, no response.
Okay, thank you very much.
See how it is. So keep applying. You get a lot of rejections. I was saying from the beginning. You will get if you're the type if you're faint-hearted, you can't survive here. You just if you get an rejection, you apply 5 that day as a revenge. They give you 2 rejections, you apply 7.
Okay.
Just keep applying, but keep modifying it. Try to make it better. Ask yourself, why do you think? And the thing is, sometimes they won't give you any feedback because they don't have the time to give you the feedback. So just ask yourself, can I make it different from the first one? You know. So you check it a little bit, add a few things, a bit, send again. Just keep sending. And the thing is, more jobs will keep opening up. I strongly believe that things will work out from February, March. Really, I'm really positive about it. Really, because there's a need. If there's no need, they will not open up the visas. Believe me, UK government will not do anything for you for free. There's a need, right? That's why they did this. And nobody has come in yet. So believe me, doors will open. Doors will open.
Doc, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I noticed something that if they advertise for band 3, it's of no need applying for it because you'll be outrightly rejected. Because for that band 3, they will be asking for MVQ 2 and 3 or its equivalent. And when they say its equivalent, what do they mean by that? Okay, like somebody that is in a health professional, can the person's certificate suffice as an equivalent?
Yes, so
like let's say a doctor a nurse or a pharmacist, can the person's certificate suffice for that?
So from what I've been able to gather, NVQ is more like a national vocational qualification. And the few HCAs I've asked, they didn't even need to get it because they have a degree or they have something else. I think it's one of the lowest forms of more like accreditation. So when you work in a place, after a while, they see that you're good at what you do and they give you a certificate, more like call an NVQ in healthcare or in care assistant or something. So if you have any kind of degree anywhere, that can, I think, I don't know if I think I'll shoot on the group. So if you have something like any degree or HND or anything, that can sometimes stand in lieu of that. Understand? So don't think you're disqualified. Moreover, you can't get the NVQ here working in Nigeria here. Likely to be in the UK here that you can get this kind of certificate because you've worked in the place for a while and they think you're competent enough and they issue that kind of a thing. When you see those things, apply. Okay. Put your degrees
I
and
noticed
apply.
something. There's this band 3 job I applied for. I was not successful.
Okay.
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
There was this band 3 job I applied for. I wasn't successful with it. I was thinking, is it because if you check their PS, they will tell you that having MVQ3 is very essential. You understand? I was like, is it the reason why I wasn't successful or thereabout?
You think is even if you go to most of the courses, have you seen an MVQ in any of the training courses you've seen so far online?
No.
Yeah.
I've not bothered checking in for any training courses on MVQ.
Just try and see if you see anything, because I'm pretty sure what you will see is care certificate, care standard. You will not see something like MVQ certificate where they will issue to you. Like, I think it's something you get over time. That's my understanding. I'll keep digging more, but that should not be clear.
So documentary I'll add. Healthcare assistant jobs are band 2. So if you're applying for a band 3 job, there's a very low chance you might get it.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Come again.
I said healthcare assistant jobs are band 2, not band 3. Like you coming in now, you're coming in as band 2. So if you're applying for a band 3 job, the requirements are going to be more. So it's less likely you get that job.
Okay. But if you check on NHS, most of the jobs are basically senior healthcare assistants or band 3. You understand? And you see some band 3 jobs, what they just require of you is your GCSE thereabouts.
Senior healthcare assistant is different from healthcare assistant. From the name senior, so it's the next level. So you require some particular training, expert training, for you to be called a senior healthcare assistant, which is going to be face-to-face training. It's not online, so it's going to be almost impossible for you to be qualified for the position of a senior healthcare assistant when you're applying from outside the UK. So do you understand?
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for the insight. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
So just target band 2 jobs, healthcare assistant, not senior.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, I have a different opinion to that. If it's me, I will apply. But let's listen to Fisher said we shouldn't. But well, I agree. Let's leave it that way. But the thing is, I think we're going to keep getting more and more and more.
I didn't say don't apply. I said it's less likely to get that job. All right, so you can still give it a try. There's no harm in trying. The worst
exactly.
No one is going to queue for that.
Just give it a shot.
Hello.
Shoot.
Hello. For some of us that are nurses now, can you apply for the senior health assistant? Like somebody like me with RON, BSc, wouldn't those qualifications fetch me senior health care?
No, even if you're a professor, the UK values training, like training in that particular field. So that's why we're even saying, okay, take for instance, in my own case, I'm a medical doctor. I was doing my residency before I left in surgery, before I came into the UK. So I still had to go through the training for an healthcare assistant before I could be allowed to work as an healthcare assistant. So it's irrespective of whatsoever you are, you need to do that training. So as a nurse, you won't be allowed to work as a senior healthcare assistant because they are RN.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question? Any other question? Yes, Kolade. This is like this should be the last one and we end. Kolade, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, doctor, and to everyone. Good evening. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, doctor, my question is on our CV upgrade. Is it possible or is it compulsory we put anything we are putting under the supporting document? Is it compulsory we put it under our CV also? Because like the one I did on Wednesday, which will help me to, where we are asked to put in some supporting document where we write where we sell ourselves. Is it compulsory we also put the same thing on our CV? So that's the question.
CV, I don't know, usually CVs don't have a particular format. Usually CVs are tailored based on your specialty, you see. So the things I'll put in my CV, yeah. You know?
Okay, like now, because I all my years have been working in a financial institution. So my CV and everything comprises on financial institution. My experience on inside banking sector. Now this is a healthcare assistant which we are all putting in for. Like now, like our experience, how we care for old people, maybe at home or in any hospital. So my question is that, is it compulsory also put the same thing under our CV?
Your CV is your CV. That supporting document is just something extra that sells yourself doing your NHS application. You don't need to put it in your CV. Function your CV based on put your CV just in the very way it should be, yeah. But I would advise you to tweak it a little bit to reflect the job you're applying for. So rather than putting a lot of banking things, you can put about how you communicate with your customers, how you understand, how you show empathy and care. You should talk a little bit more about that because that's what the job is about. It's not about how much money you're counting, how much money you're making in the bank. It's about your communication skills, your reporting skills, your meetings, your teamwork. These are things they're looking for. So your CV should be tailored to that. But the supporting document is just something extra. During the application, you see them writing supporting document. Tell us something extra about yourself. So you're not going to talk about other things that you do. Support what you really do documented on your CV. So you should not be in the CV.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Okay, and the next question is there any difference between using tier 2 or band 3 or band 2? Is there any difference in that?
It's just the pay, just how things are graded here in the UK. Like the nurses still have the same band 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I know for the nurses, if you come in initially without your exams, you're on band 4. Once you pass it, you become band 5. So that band also determines how much salary you are getting and making. So, but the key thing is, like my colleague said,
I mean the difference between band 3 and is there difference between band 3 and tier 2? Because
tier
on the
2?
application we are yes.
No, tier 2 is the visa. Tier 2 is the tier 2 visa is the visa they give you.
Okay.
Different from band. Band is a salary structure. Like see what I'm saying. See, band is as in how you are paid. That's what the band is. Band 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is band 3, for instance. and it's a permanent job. So please apply for this job. Are you seeing it? This one is a care certificate. So if you can get the care certificates and venipuncture. So the nurse was an techno spark. This might be something that you may want to try for maybe. This is my hospital. This is where I'm working now. So you should apply for this job. So my friend, what you're saying is you can see the band. So your band determines your pay, yeah?
Yes.
It's completely different from the tier 2 visa. That's a completely different thing. This week I'm trying it. That's a completely different thing, yeah? They're not the same thing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
How do I get this link?
This link?
The link for the job.
Just go to NHS now. Show you I typed it there. NHS.
Okay.
Just NHS. The same NHS. The same thing I've been sharing since.
Okay.
You can just go there and get it.
What's the name of the hospital?
Birmingham. Sunwell Hospital. That's my hospital now. Yeah. Sunwell, and this is where I'm working now.
Okay.
So apply for that, yeah? Okay. Then see another one again. I see the salary. Remember I told you it was more than 20,480. And these are permanent jobs. Yeah? So there are many jobs here. Just keep applying. Huh? Okay. Is there anything else before we end this session today? It's almost 2 more minutes. And we'll work with time. Okay. In the absence of anything else, I want to thank you so much for tuning in for this meeting. If you have anything you're not sure of, please can private chat me up on Fisayo, and we'll try our best to respond to your question. Please keep grinding. From our own end here, we're also applying and calling and pushing. And I know very soon one day we're all going to smile. Huh? So just wish you the best. Have a wonderful weekend, and regards to your families. Bye.
Bye.
Fisayo, you have anything to say? Fisayo? Yeah, I think he's even gone.
No, just apologies. I was coming late into the meeting because of work. I'm sorry.
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.